Let's see. There's the update. We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my brewing stream. Very excited to be able to dig into this. Oh, I gotta mute myself. Always throws me off. So today, I get to brew a very fun commander. I have made some very high quality proxies down here to placehold for the 9 Nazgul, which I do not currently have, and my Ring Wraiths and my Witch King of Angmar. I did get the Witch King Bringer of Ruin today, so super excited for that. Basically, I've already gone through and I've pulled out all the cards that I think will be relevant to building this. We're going to run it as Black-Blue Spellslinger. So for those not in the know, let's see here. Let me bring this up so we all can see it together. Sorry, I gotta move that down real quick. There we go. Alright. Now, Lord of the Nazgul is 5 for a 4/3 flying. Wraiths you control have protection from Ring Bearers, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, make a 3/3 black Wraith creature token with Menace. Super excited for the Menace Wraiths. And if you control 9 or more Wraiths, Wraiths you control have base power and toughness 9/9 till end of turn. So this is going to be really exciting. Most likely going to build it as Spellslinger. So we're going to want to cast lots of instants and sorceries, draw lots of fun cards off of it, and then in the process, hopefully make enough Wraiths that we can declare lethal and call it a day. So we will see exactly how that's going to go. Like I said, I already went through and dug out all of the cards that I thought would be relevant to this, focusing mostly on tribal elements that don't require me to cast Wraiths, because even with this set, there's only 11 Wraiths in the game currently, so Wraith Tribal as like a deck doesn't necessarily work out. However, I have gotten to do some fun stuff. I spoke to my play group, and they were okay with me rule zeroing a partner out of one of the backgrounds. So, Haunted One is a legendary enchantment, and it says commander creatures you own have when this creature becomes tapped. Oh, my camera really doesn't like that. Hang on. I gotta get this up here so I can make sure it's focusing. You can kind of see it. Commander creatures you own have when this creature becomes tapped, it and other creatures you control that share a creature type with it each get 2/0 and gain Undying. So I think most of the reason my group was okay with this was the fact that Undying won't bring tokens back with a 1/1 counter. And mostly this is going to focus on the Wraith tokens themselves. Which actually, I should get one of those out of the box. I still have all of the tokens, or all of the pre-con decks put together so that they can be smashed against each other for the fun of it. That's cool. The deck came with exactly 9 Wraiths, so I will be stealing all of the tokens out of my precon. Yeah, I kept all my precons together so that I could sit there and play with them. So far, I've managed to get everything but the Abzan Hobbits deck. It's like Hobbits and food tokens. But I have gotten the other 3 commander decks and the starter kit on my journey to collect the entire set. This is actually going to be the first set that I have ever attempted to collect the entire set and put it in a binder in serialized order. This is like the culmination of 2 of my most favorite things on the planet, between Lord of the Rings and Magic the Gathering. So as much as I'm mildly against the Universes Beyond stuff, I do really enjoy the fact that this exists right now. So this is just like dream come true. So for now, we're going to set aside our super high quality proxies there as Nazgul 1 through 9 and the Witch King of Angmar and Ring Wraiths, and we're going to start getting some of the bulk out of the way. Usually what ends up happening is I have way too much stuff out at the same time, and basically I just don't want to dig through my crap more than once, so anything that I think might be useful for me, I just pull it at once, which is how I have, like 3 boxes of unsorted bulk over there that we're just not going to talk about, while I pull out more cards and completely ignore the problem. And also, can't forget to crack open a cold one. Today's brew is Kinship, is the brewing company. And it's an amber lager. We just had an event last night with a friend of mine, and I wanted to show up with something fun to give him, so I showed up with Kinship, just for him. So I know most importantly, we need bodies, because Spellslinger decks suck at controlling the board. Um, Instants and sorceries are our bread and butter, and then we have a handful of support enchantments and artifacts, and then a couple planeswalkers that might be useful for this. In particular, if I do the mill strategy, I was looking at some pieces for Ashiok would be really good. I also like the control aspect of not letting my opponent search their library. As much as it hurts the ramp players, which I don't necessarily care to do, it also stops the people from vampiric tutoring and so on, which I do really care to do. And unfortunately, that's more important than feels bad for the ramp player. So we've got her prepared, and then Professor Onyx has Magecraft. So whenever I cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life and I gain 2 life as her passive. Um, so those could both be really important. And then Lolth the Spider Queen is just neat, and I want to play with her. So we'll see if she makes the cut. I do like the fact, though, that if I can get to that emblem, which creature I control dies, put a loyalty counter on them, uh, Lolth makes it so that you get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by one or more creatures you control. If that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. And our commander ultimately wants to make things into 9/9, so that's kind of a nice stopgap to give it something to potentially be able to swing at each player with a single creature and still hit them for 8, even without hitting the 9 wraiths. That's our critical number. Um, I already went through and took out any duplicates, organized everything by mana cost and card type. So the most boring part of the sorting is out of the way at this point. So now I just kind of get to dig in and figure out what things are going to be useful to us. I know playing Spellslinger for tokens, we've got a lot of options for making bodies and making sure that they do all the things that they're supposed to do, uh, and throwaway bodies at that. So let's go ahead and dig in a little bit here to some of the creatures that we've got on hand. I'm going to try and keep this on camera so that the pile is visible. However, I do have a lot of cardboard out right now. You can't really see it, but both the instant and sorcery stacks are about this tall, and then we've got about yay many artifacts and enchantments each set aside, slightly less artifacts. I definitely need more ramp, but I actually think I'm out of proxied mana crypts right now. Um, Definitely proxy friendly, always and forever. Um, big fan. Oh, hang on, I'm being harassed. I forgot to tell people on Snapchat that I was live on Twitch. Hang on. I have to acknowledge my friends. Oh, here we go. Okay, that's done. Oh, yes! Yes! It's so ironic that that was a Snapchat from a friend of mine that just asked if I needed the Witch King of Angmar and the Nazgul. Literally, do you need? And this is one of our Nazgul and our Witch King that is proxied up here. He didn't even know I was live on Twitch either. Like, quite literally, just messaged me out of the blue. That's so funny. He's also got a Tom Bombadil there, which is the in the top like 3 or 4 cards I'm most excited for out of the set. because Tom Bombadil doesn't get the justice that he deserves as a character in Lord of the Rings, mainly because they cut him out of the movies, even though he's a very impactful character and like really interesting. Um, and I believe he even shows up for like the Battle of the Five Armies in The Hobbit. Like, so he's there for a lot of major events, and they just kind of made him not exist, which sucks because like he's really cool. Um, but I wanted to build Tom Bombadil as 5 color sagas, if like as a Lord of the Rings block deck, if they put out enough. But I think there's only 16 sagas in the set, counting the commander decks too. So it's just not going to be enough, and there's not enough synergy between them. So that's going to turn into just like a general build instead of a block deck. I would still love to build a block deck out of the Lord of the Rings set. I'm going to try and keep all the Lord of the Rings cards together so I can start filling out a binder with them. Um, it's just not cool enough. So let's see here. We'll start with our creatures, and we're going to try and drop some of the stuff that's not as important now that we've got the full pile out here. So like Baleful Strix isn't going to do us any good. Snappy Boy is going to be great. Same for Priest of Forgotten Gods. Really good for card advantage and putting pressure on your opponents. We're instant sorcery focus, so Baral's great. Not going to ramp enough for that guy. Let's see. Copies are good. We like copies. If we're milling stuff, those are good. This guy's really cool, and I just got this print when it just got printed. Um, Halo Forager. So 3 mana, 3/1 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, you may cast target instant sorcery card with mana value X from a graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell be put into a graveyard, exile instead. So basically, it's a Snapcaster Mage, but you're pulling out of any graveyard, which I actually did not realize when I put it in here. Braids is going to be great because this is something we can use to channel our throwaway bodies into pressure on our opponents and card advantage. That's going to be awesome. Morbid Opportunist, again, throwaway bodies. Um, this is whenever one or more other creatures die, draw a card. This triggers only once each turn, but I can swing at you to force you to block and give me card advantage on my turn, and then turn around and on your turn make sure that I'm blocking. And of course, if we're playing 4-player Commander Pod, that's going to lead to 4 cards per round, which is very, very solid. A lot of people look at the this ability triggers only once each turn as like a bad limitation, but really in Commander, you're just going to get a lot of utility out of this. If I pay 3 mana and draw 4 cards and it doesn't make it back around to my turn, that's still good. Um, we've got more instant and sorcery focused stuff. Let's see. Kel's Fight Fixer is really good. 4 mana, 4/3 menace. Whenever you sacrifice a creature, you may pay black or blue. If you do, draw. Pay 1, sack a creature, gains indestructible till end of turn. Big fan of this card. Very, very good sack outlet, card advantage. Because, I mean, effectively what you're going to do is you've got a 4 mana, 4/3 menace with the option for indestructible, and you basically play 1 and Demir to sack a creature and draw a card. You'll never pay less than 2 mana for that ability, because if so, you're wasting it. It's just really, really good, and it's been chilling in my binder for a while, so it deserves some love. Wizards of Thay is solid. I don't like the fact that we're this far into my creature curve, and we're already on 4 drops. Big thing with this guy is you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Instants of sorceries cost 1 less. It has Myriad, so when it attacks for each opponent other than the defending player, you create a token that's a copy of that creature that's tapped and attacking, exile them at end of combat. So enabling sorceries to have flash means that when I go to combat, I can swing at somebody, make 2 more with Myriad, and then I have a 3 mana cost reduction before blockers and damage are done. So it really comes in handy. Curiosity Crafter is going to be another card advantage engine. 4 mana through flying, you have no max hand size, which is awesome, considering we're in draw colors and we want to go fast. Whenever creature token you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So this is Biden of Thassa per body, but for creature tokens. Also got good old Grim Hireling, which is awesome ramp. It's whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create 2 treasure tokens. So in a pod, you hit 3 players and get 6 mana back for it. Very, very risk, very reward, but we have throwaway bodies. Profaner of the Dead has actually turned into a sleeper hit for me. It's got exploit, so when it enters the battlefield, you may sack a creature. When it exploits a creature, return to their owner's hands all creatures your opponents control at toughness less than the exploited creature's toughness. So I can reliably make a 3 toughness creature with Lord of the Nazgul that I don't care about, and return all of the utility creatures on the board back to their owner's hands, and it's your opponent's, so it's one-sided. It's not bad. 4 mana 3/3, and at the very worst, it itself will come down as a 4 mana 3/3 that then eats itself to bounce power or toughness 2 or less back. Archmage Emeritus is an all-star for us. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, draw. Let's get some of these down here so we can start to see what our shell is looking like. We really want for there to be a lot of relevance on making bodies and casting instants and sorceries, and then utilizing those bodies. So a lot of these like 3-drops that sack things or let me cast out of my graveyard or make my spells cost less are going to be awesome. Let's see here. I still can't get over the fact that he literally sent me that as I'm brewing the deck and was talking about it. Let's see. Oh, hey, cool. One of my best friends is finally on Snapchat. Very nice. Alright. Gonna mark as red, get that out of the way. Very excited for that. Okay, I will get to the rest of that in a little bit. Let's see here. We're going to run into a lot of junk along the way that looks really appealing and isn't. It's very, very easy to see cards and be like, ooh, that. But those things don't necessarily do anything for your deck besides be good cards in your colors. And some things are just going to be your veggies. The things that are really important, like Notion Thief, which lets me steal all of my opponent's extra draws. This is going to be fun. This is the triarchy of my commander matters so much I want multiples. So Sakashima and Spark Double can all enter as a copy of a legendary creature because they retain their name, or in the case of Spark Double, are not legendary, which means we can double up on making wraiths off my commander. If we can get up to 3 copies of my commander, 3 instants of sorceries gets us to the 9, and 9 is our magic number. Even just having 2 copies would make it 4 instances of sorceries. And actually, yeah, I think the math is right there, because you would have a copy of it and have 2 wraiths to start, and then turn around and need to cast 4 spells, which would get you up to the 10. Again, getting us at or above the magic number. Let's see here. Snappy Boy's got to go in. I really want to put Phantasmal Image in because 2-mana clones are 2-mana clones, but we'll see about that. We're just trying to get in essentials right now. Niblis of Frost is so good for us. 4 mana 3/3 flying. Prowess, so any non-creature spell is going to give it +1/+1 till end of turn. And then, of course, whenever it casts an instant or sorcery spell, which is the magic line of text for us, tap target creature and opponent controls, and it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, which is real fun. Consuming Aberration is actually a win con. Because we're playing Spellslinger and trying to cast lots of spells all at once, this says whenever you cast a spell, which is just as good as whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell because it'll catch my instants and sorceries, each opponent's going to reveal cards from the top of their library till they reveal a land card this way, and then put those cards into their graveyard, which is going to be a ton of fun. At least for me. I don't know about them, but let's see here. We've got so many good options in black-blue that all cost so much mana. It's like the Scarab God is really good, but he doesn't fit anything besides like a mill shell. There's just so few wraiths, right? So if we're not going to make wraith tribal as is, we need to be making something that will capitalize on what the deck wants to do, and that's just casting lots of instants and sorceries. Speak of the devil, we have our Witch King Bringer of Ruin, which is a wraith out of the new set. Thank God they did that. We'll also try and get that Torrential Gear Hulk in here because it's going to cast an instant sorcery out of our graveyard, which is really strong for us. There's not a lot else here. We could slip in Rexiol and see how that goes. Let's see. This is going to be our pitch pile, which helps a lot because when you're pulling things out, you end up hitting a lot that just isn't that great for you. Hullbreaker Horror basically has to go in every blue deck ever now. It's just too strong not to. They know what they did. They made this. Scholar of the Lost Trove, Junkwinder, and I think the rest of this is really more for show. Octavia would be really good because it means we don't have to get to the magic number of 9. So let me run some of this back really quick. Hullbreaker Horror is a 7 mana 7/8 flash, can't be countered. We cast it whenever, you can't do anything about it besides return it to my hand from the stack, which is a really bad deal for you. And then whenever I cast a spell, which we like those lines of text, choose up to 1, return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So right off the bat, all of my instants and sorceries among all of my other spells are going to get a bounce or effectively a counter by removing things from the stack. I wouldn't even consider Junkwinder a 7 mana card because it has affinity for tokens, so it'll cost 1 less to cast for each token I control and can be double blue if I have 5 tokens. It's a 5/6, and whenever a token enters under my control, tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls, it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So the fun part is, with Junkwinder and Niblis, it would be, if I had both down, every instant or sorcery I cast would tap 2 creatures and they wouldn't untap. And then the last card here in our really high mana range is Scholar of the Lost Trove. When it enters the battlefield, you may cast target instant, sorcery, or artifact card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If an instant or sorcery spell cast this way, it would be put in your graveyard this turn, exile instead. So again, casting being the keyword, casting out of graveyard lets me reuse spells. It's a 7 mana 5/5 flying that gets me free, and hopefully the spell I'll be casting will be removal. A lot of what's going to really define our deck is going to be in these 2 piles here, because that's really going to determine just what kind of win con we're going for and what we want to prioritize. We know it's tokens, we know it's instants or sorceries, and we know every once in a while it's sacrificing stuff to hurt our opponents. Priest of Forgotten Gods is a good reminder of that. So is Braids. And then last but not least, which is technically, it's kind of like Junkwinder, it can be a lot less for the 2 blue, but it's a 10 mana 8/8. It costs 8 less if you have 8 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard. Ward 8, which nobody's paying 8 mana to target my things unless they have infinite mana. They just don't care. Making a path to exile costs 9 mana is a bad deal, and I'm in blue. Go ahead and try. Spend that 8 mana. But the fun part is, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, target creature has base power and toughness 8/8 till end of turn. That's really fucking strong. So if I can get to the magic number of 8 instants and sorceries in graveyard, Octavia is 2 blue for an 8/8 ward 8 that makes other creatures 8/8. So we effectively get like a lieutenant backup again, because redundancy is really important. People are going to see this coming from a mile away because it's in my command zone, but they may not see this coming because it's in the 99, and I can play it for 2 blue. So that's a good look at what we've got for creatures that really matter for our deck, and a good basis just to look at. There's still some clones and other stuff in here that might be relevant, but let's kind of dig into some of the rest of this. We know that we want to draw and we want to kill things. That is 100% our goal. Draw, kill, counter. There I go, moving the goalpost. Ooh, excuse me. I don't drink anything carbonated anymore, so it's always weird for me when my body's like, what the fuck is that? But I know for a fact there's a whole suite of 1 mana draw spells that would be really good in here. They're a great way to start setting up your game and getting things moving. I do have a deck that I'm going to steal some cards out of while we're at it, because it is also a blue-based Spellslinger deck, but with Broody-clad Telcor Engineer. Now this thing needs a bit of an update, and a good chunk of the stuff that is in here just isn't necessarily working. So let's see if we can just go ahead and grab the other ones. Good old Master of Waves, because tokens are cool. Oh, and there's a Mana Crypt. Look at that. I'm just holding out on myself. I'm going to grab that Proxy Arcane Signet. I was ordering high quality proxies after I sold all of my Moxen. And the guy threw in this for an extra $5. Um, Super excited by that. It's also modeled off of a Ring of Power, and you can't really see it on camera. Um, that's like Elvish script around it. So super duper cool. Was very excited that he had that. I think while I'm in here, we're also gonna take the blue instants and sorceries that really matter for our colors. No, I don't need Urza. Do I want Urza? Always. Do I need Urza? Maybe not. There's my shiniest of shiny brainstorms. Let's see. See double. Elminster Simulacrum. I would like to have like a small sub theme of stealing from my opponents in here. So seeing stuff like that is really great. Oh, there's some more mana rocks that we can use. Yeah, this was a great idea. Unfortunately, it means I'm gonna have to strip and or update this. But you win some and you lose some. There we go. Theoretical duplication. Arenicus's vile duplication. Saheeli's artistry. There's my Dawson. Extravagant replication. Crackling counterpart. There's a shiny Soul Ring. Shiny Jataxian probe. Opt. The beautiful Opt. That's one of my favorites. There's my Ponder. And I think Windfall if I don't already have it in here. I really love Broody-Clad, and it's unfortunate to just not care enough about it to care whether or not I take it apart. But you know, it happens. Fun part is with the shiny Opt, we'll just go ahead and retire that as a duplicate. Here I was lying to you guys and telling you that I'd already gone through. This is really old, so we're just gonna get a little protective sleeve for that guy. Just to be kind. And of course I'm doing this after I already organized everything by mana cost and separated cards, but it'll be okay. Don't always be like that, but sometimes it do. Really glad though, freeing up a mana crypt in the process, because having a 5 mana commander just sucks. Especially when you start to get around to like higher power level play. That's where you really start to see people popping off sooner and more powerfully. It's one of those things where it's a necessary thing to keep up at this point in a lot of the metas that I play in. So we're just gonna take a quick sec to sort some of these in. That's a sorcery. That's another creature. That's a sorcery. Okay. And we do like casting things to make tokens, especially bullshit tokens. So I'll take that Poppet Stitcher and that Dawson. We can go ahead and tuck these away. Actually, instant sorceries. Instants and sorceries. Here we go. And I believe that... Did I already drop the brainstorm? I didn't think I did. So got... Hang on. Doing too many things at once here. Let me find my 4 drops. There we go. Okay. Creatures. We've got more counter magic than God here. Frantic Search is in here. We do want that. There's some really mean spells in here, and I'm gonna have so much fun with that. Salt. It's just keeping it all organized. That's the hard part. And actually, Saheeli's Artistry needs to go in my Urza deck, where it belongs. Let's see here. Those are all 1-mana draws. We already have a Windfall, but I like this art better, and there's our 4-drops. Good, that's now sorted. God, Extravagant Replication is such a good card, but it's so tough to play with at 6 mana. Let's see, there's our Thought Vessel. Go ahead and drop the Arcane, because we got the fancy one, and the Crypt. Okay. There we go. Thirsty. Don't forget to hydrate. Oh, God, that's so good. Amber Lager. Let's see. Waukee, Iowa is where that's from. Big, big shout out to them. Ooh. Jesus. That was rough. Alright. Let's get back to it. So, back to that whole having a 5-mana commander thing. I don't really like rituals in Commander, but Dark Red's going to get us there. So is Brainstorm and Opt, because we want low mana stuff. I also don't traditionally run tutors. I find them to be very boring and kind of removes the randomized element from Commander. But I do understand that they're a necessity at a certain point, and I don't think this is going to be a combo deck. I haven't built any infinites into it, just haven't really cared to. So there's nothing specific that we need to tutor. There's the Brainstorm, which, like, arguing over arts is dumb and semantic, but it is a tough toss-up. They're both beautiful, but this is like the one for me. It's sad because that was my favorite Brainstorm for the longest time, and then they printed this one. They also did that Masters 25 one that's like the Thundercloud. This is a little bit of some of the best deck tech ever created. Tainted Strike is a 1-mana instant. Target creature gets 1/0, gains infect till end of turn. 9 is our magic number. 10 is the magic infect number. So if we get the pop, things become 9/9s. We 1/0 them for infect, and that's 10 for lethal. Also, the fun part about Tainted Strike is it's not a creature you control. So you can wait for an opponent to swing and the person to sigh and say that they're going to take 9, and then you get to giggle and respond by making it 10 infect instead. Plumb the Forbidden's also great. More throwaway bodies. People are going to try and board wipe us before we get to 9. That's an inevitability. Like, it is what it is. So Plumb the Forbidden is a really great instant. 2-mana instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice one or more creatures. When you do, copy this spell for each creature sacrificed this way, which is important for our Magecraft triggers because we're not just repeating the process, we're copying. So we'll have multiple spells in the stack. And you draw a card and lose a life. So at base, 2-mana instant, draw a card, lose a life. I can sack all of the creatures that are about to die to draw a card and lose a life for each one, and it's any number, so I don't have to sacrifice them all. While we're at it, Storm spells are really great for Magecraft triggers. Brain Freeze is one of my favorite ones. It's a 2-mana instant. For target player mills 3 and has Storm. So you wait for your opponent to pop off and you start counting spells and giggling to yourself, and then all of a sudden, when they're like, nasty thing, you just mill them out. I've also got more counter magic than God here. I don't need that much, but again, digging all of the relevant things out when I can. Along with that whole, people are going to keep trying to kill my shit before I get to the magic number, body count's really good. So for 3 mana, instant, draw a card for each creature that died under my control this turn. And then it has Spectacle, so I can cast it for a black If an opponent lost life this turn, which is really relevant because fetch lands, shock lands, pain lands, anything like that, is going to enable Spectacle. There are also cards like Necropotence and Phyrexian Arena where you have to pay life to use them in the first place. So it'll be really easy to meet the condition to get a black. It's also an opponent. So in the case of a pod, I don't even necessarily need somebody to have spent their own life. At that point, we can literally just kind of call it a day when they hit somebody else, especially if a lot of my stuff has died in the process. Um, there's so much stuff to go through here. I have so many options, and I get distracted by shiny things a lot. So let's see here. We really want repeated draw and removal. Um, Pulse of the Grid is awesome. Instant, draw 2 cards, then discard a card from your hand. Then, if an opponent has more cards in hand than you, return it to its owner's hand. So it's a repeatable 3 mana instant to draw 2, then discard, and you just have to choose when you're playing it. But there are multiple things that will trigger the first time we cast a spell, when we cast a spell on an opponent's turn, and things like that. So it's going to come in handy there. It's just tough to know how much draw and how much removal because you fill your deck up with too much crap and you're not going to do anything of what you want to do. You also have to kind of like stay on point. And unfortunately, like outside of get to 9, because 9 is the magic number of the Nazgul, there's not a lot to like. I don't have like a crater hoof in here, that I can dig into and be like, oh, this just ends the game. So I got to work for it a little bit harder, which for the most part I'm fairly okay with. Ooh, this is another good one. So Filter Out just got printed in March of the Machine Aftermath. It's a 3 mana instant. Return all non-creature, non-land permanents to their owner's hands. So this is going to reset everybody's artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers. Yeah, those are all the permanents. Non-creature, non-land. So everybody's setup goes away when I cast that. You can also shove this in decks with a lot of mana positive rocks. It unfortunately does all, uh, but it's similar to Paradoxical Outcome, which is a card that got printed in Aether Revolt that says it's a 4 mana instant. Return any number of non-land permanents, target non-land permanents to your hand, and for each non-token permanent return this way, you draw a card. So you can pick up all your mana positive rocks. This is very similar, but you're going to hit your opponent's stuff in the process. I just like the fact that as a control card, I can use this to pick up everybody's shit at instant speed. So we'll see how that goes. I have yet to actually play with it or see anybody cast it. God, we've got a lot of good options, but most of the stuff that I want to cast is counter magic. There is some fun stuff though, like Domineering Wheel here. Domineering Wheel? Domineering Will. I still don't know how to English. I can French just fine. I just can't English. J'étudie le français chaque jour. Yeah, I study French every day. But I've spoken English my entire life, and I still can't do it well. But Domineering Will is a 4 mana instant. It says target player gains control of up to 3 target non-attacking creatures till end of turn. Untap those creatures, they block this turn if able. So what that's going to allow me to do is grab the 3 biggest creatures that aren't attacking and put them in the way. It also lets me take the utility creatures of the attacking player and put them in front of their beat sticks. So we'll see how that goes. We also have C Double, another new card I have yet to see played. It's a 4 mana instant, can't be copied. Choose one. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, you may choose both, which I think we're going to enable. I like the mill element. Copy target spell. You may choose new targets for the copy, and create a token that's a copy of target creature. So we can copy any spell, not just my own. And then I can also create a token that's a copy of anybody's creature as a 4 mana instant. I'm pretty sure this spiked to like over $10. Let's see. Oh, there's so many options. Sudden Substitution. I really want to do tricky, like shenanigans things. The more instants and stuff that I can play, the better. So, 4 mana instant, split second, so nobody can respond to it. And exchange control of target non creature spell and target creature, then the spell's controller may choose new targets for it. So, it lets me give you one of my wraiths in exchange for your non creature spell. It lets me gain control of your Cyclonic Rift and become the controller, so everybody else's stuff gets bounced. And then on the flip side of that, uh, you can do it to your opponents as well. So you can say like swap somebody's big beastie for somebody else's say kill spell that's on the stack. There's just so many options with it. It's very very versatile, um, and I just want to be tricky. Turnabout is another one that's really versatile, and I have a super shiny print and am a raccoon. So it's super tempting to fit it in here because it's versatile. You can choose artifact, creature, or land, tap all untapped permanents of the chosen type target player controls, or untap all tapped permanents of that type that player controls. Um, so again, sneaky, versatile, great instant. I can untap all my stuff, untap all my lands to net mana, untap all of my artifacts if that nets me mana, and then on top of that, when my opponent decides to go to combat and is giving me the stink eye the entire time, I can just tap all their stuff. You can also, on somebody's upkeep, tap all their lands, which gets really mean sometimes. So let's see here. I really want my instants and sorceries to be as impactful as possible, and as versatile as possible. Memory Plunger is really good. The casting cost is a little strict since it's multiple Dimir pips, but you may cast target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard without paying its mana cost. The fun part is you don't have to follow timing restrictions and it hits sorceries, so I can pay 4 mana to Wrath of God out of your graveyard at instant speed. Like that was a good board state you had, and you swung at me, and now it's gone. Insidious Will is another one of those that's just super versatile. Counter a spell, may choose new targets for target spell, so a redirect, or you may copy target instant or sorcery spell and may choose new targets for the copy. So there's just a lot of weird stuff you can do with that, including making counter spells target themselves. Um, Consume the Meek, I think, is going to go in here because we're a little light on bodies, and this will kill everybody's early game setup. Once you get past that, it's more of like, I want to win the game off of these, so these are really rude. End the turn spells. Totally fine and balanced cards that nobody's going to get salty about. Why would they ever do that? Um, and I've been trying to play more with Dig Through Time recently. Really, really solid spell. It's 8 mana, but it cost reduces itself by delving things out of my graveyard, which is still a huge bonus, and it was enough of a bonus that I believe it's banned in multiple formats. Um, but I've been trying to play with it more, and it's actually been doing really well for me. Just the amount of card advantage going 7 deep and getting 2 cards to hand is really good, and you can 2 blue it if you've got 6 or more instant sorceries in your, or 6 or more cards in your graveyard, because you can just exile them. And the Black Sun's Twilight's another new spell I want to play with. It's a black X instant, and you -X a creature, and if X is 5 or more, return a creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. The tapped is there because it's an instant, but I don't really care about that because the big thing is I have instant speed kill and recursion. This is the kind of versatility I like. When I'm playing control, I really like bodies that say no, and being able to have like Torrential Gearhulk or Snapcaster Mage, where you're developing board state and you're getting your disruption is really, really solid. So being able to recur a creature and remove a creature effectively achieves that goal for me on the 2-for-1. I get something back, you lose something. I really like that parity break, resource-wise. Oh, let's see here. Oh, I forgot to plug in my phone. Whoops. fiance's updating me on her adventures today. She got to go to a pageant for supporting a friend of hers. Um, big fan. So she's sending me updates. It's cute. I intentionally didn't get out counter magic because it's really easy to just grab all of the counter spells all of the time. And what I really want is theme and flavor and effectiveness here. So we've got a base for our instants and sorceries. We know how bad that we want to draw, um, and keep our hand going and keep drawing into more removal. Removal is key. We need to keep refilling our hand, and we need to keep killing people's stuff. And I left all the kill spells in there as well. So most of that was utility stuff and stuff that's going to be really useful to us. Let's see here.
Testing, testing, testing. So, did you know that if your headset's not charged, it will die? Uh, so, oops, I kind of forgot about that part, and apparently didn't charge my headset last night once I was done playing. So, let's see here. We want all of our draw, all of the draw, and all of the reanimate and removal. If I could just have a deck full of draw, reanimate, and removal, I would be a happy camper. So we've got quite a few options here. We do have the option for combo stuff, for infinite extra turns. And some things are just like art porn, so I really want to play with them. Hang on, I need to adjust the mic volume just a little bit, because apparently it's not picking me up super duper well. I can only get it so close to my face. But I did a little oops there. But there is the option of going infinite turns. We've got Eye of the Storm. It's one of my favorite enchantments. Where is it? There it is. So Eye of the Storm is 7 mana. And of course, I have a shiny print because it was dirt cheap since it's such a janky card. But whenever a player casts an instant sorcery, remove it from the game, from their hand. Then that player copies each instant sorcery card removed from the game with Eye of the Storm. For each copy, the player may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So if you stick a turn card on there, nobody else ever gets a turn. Ever again. The only problem with that is it's not super duper fun. Most people would probably argue that infinite turns is really boring, which for the most part I can pretty much agree with. The big thing is you need to be able to win if you're going to lock everybody else out of playing the game. And that's that can be difficult. However, it does cast. So at that point, I'm free to get Lord of the Nazgul down. And then every single spell that it casts will make me Nazgul. So our combo there is actually pretty efficient, since we'll win with the commander. Let's see what we have for draw. Jataxian Probes, Serum Visions, Ponder. We've got a good old Reanimate, Persist. I do like me a full art Sign in Blood. Knight's Whisper's cool. Victimize is cool. I was given this by a friend actually, and about choked. Because it was in a box full of stuff that they're like, yeah, you can have. It's a proxy. A friend of mine had his house broken into, and all of his decks were stolen, and he owned an actual Yawgmoth's Will. So when he sent me the list for his deck, me and some friends pooled our money and replaced everything that we could, and the things we couldn't afford, like Yawgmoth's Will, we got high quality proxies of. And it was actually like one of the most wholesome things I've ever done for somebody. He came over and wasn't expecting it, and I handed him a fully sleeved Zur the Enchanter deck that was to his specifications on how he wanted to play it in his old list. And it was the cutest goddamn thing to just kind of watch him light up and be at a loss for words over it. Still one of my favorite things. Let's see. Mnemonic Betrayal is the flip side of that. I get to take all the cards out of all opponents' graveyards. I may cast them. I may spend manas or mana of any color to cast them. And at the beginning of my next end step, if any of those cards are made exile, return them to their owner's graveyards. And you exile Mnemonic Betrayal when you cast it. However, there's some fun combos there, like Sir Conrad the Grim, which says whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, or is put into a graveyard from anywhere, or a creature card leaves my graveyard, then each opponent loses 1 life. Or no, it's damage, because you can Tainted Strike Sir Conrad. But they leave the opponent's graveyard, and then if I don't cast any of the creatures, they all go back, and they would all get pinged for them. So it's like a neat little 2-for-1. Always, always, always run your wheels. And of course, more commanders the better. So Arenikiz's Vile Duplication will make a non-legendary copy of my commander. The fun part is, once I have a non-legendary copy, any of my other copy spells will let me get an extra one. So we'll see how that's going to go. More Storm spells. Tendrils of Agony is a 4-mana sorcery with Storm and deals 2 damage to target opponent, and you gain 2 life. More Magecraft shenanigans here. Really like Storm spells. They're a lot of fun. Let's see. Any draws that we can get that don't require our opponent to also draw are going to be really good. So 4-mana sorcery, I draw X, lose X, where X is number of creatures I control. Super duper solid. Awesome, awesome card to put in here. Again, we want Wraiths all the time. So A+ card for us. Let's see. More wheels. Drawn from Dreams has actually been like a really good card. It's a dig through time at half the cost. So top 7, 2 in hand, the rest of the bottom in a random order. It doesn't cost reduce, but it is the average cost reduction you could hope to see off of dig through time, because it's an 8-mana instant. It's very feasible to have 4 mana up. Downside is this is a sorcery. We want to really limit sorceries because they don't allow us to react to our opponent's stuff. Let's see, some more reanimate, some more reanimate. We do have... Honestly, I feel like half of our instants and sorceries are just going to be turn cards. I think that's the play. Deadly Tempest could be a win con. Destroy all creatures. Each player loses life equals the number of creatures he or she controlled that were destroyed this way. I just need you to have more creatures than your life total. And then you die. There's also Power Draw. Draw cards equal number of instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. Got some more turn cards here. Another Storm spell. Again, these beautiful Japanese print like Storm spells. Mind's Desire is 6 mana and says shuffle, then exile the top. Until the end of your turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. You may play, because if it's land, you can get your land play. And it also has Storm. Sticking that on Eye of the Storm is hilarious, because you cast it, you get your Storm trigger independent of the spell. Then the spell's exiled off the stack, and then you recast it and get a second Storm trigger because it was cast. Kindred Dominance is going to be great for us. Choose creature type, destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. We're playing tribal, baby. Breach the Multiverse is great. Each player mills 10, and then for each player, choose a creature or planeswalker card in their graveyard, total, not milled this way, and put those cards onto the battlefield under your control, and they become Phyrexian in addition to their other types. More turns. A turn card that shuffles in. Clone Legion is going to be awesome for us. Big thing being, it's 9 mana, but it lets you jumpstart the amount of wraiths that you have. For each creature target player controls, create a token that's a copy of that creature. A lot of people think of this as an offensive spell and you point it at your opponent. I'm a huge fan of pointing it at myself and doubling my board. So if I have 4 wraiths and I double my board, I cast, I get a 5th, and then I go up to 10, and then I'm at the magic number. Expropriate should be banned, but it's not, so we're playing with it. Time Stretch, another Delve spell. We do also have the traditional black win cons of Exsanguinate and Torment of Hailfire. I don't think Torment's going to go in, but I think Exsanguinate is because it's going to keep me alive. And we definitely cut down on the instants and sorceries. I just want to draw cards and take turns and kill things. You notice how every time I say I just keep adding more conditions to that? Yeah, it's a problem. I'm just indecisive little squirrel brain. So we're gonna put that done. What do we have for for enchantments? Gotham Control. I actually think this pile sorts itself out. Mystic Remora feeds the fish. Search for Escanta feeds my graveyard, then flips into card advantage. Court of Cunning both starts the Monarch mechanic to encourage infighting, but also mills players. Leyline of the Void and Leyline of Anticipation give me flash and exile your graveyards. This is actually one I'm super excited to play with. Not only is it just like gorgeous foiling, but it's 4 mana enchantment. It says instants and sorceries you cast cost 1 less to cast for each time you cast a commander from the command zone this game. My commander's 5 mana, this is 4, so I can play this on curve, cast my commander, it's an automatic cost reduction. We've also got Grave Pact and Dictate. So when my stuff dies, you sack, and I have throwaway bodies, baby. Kindred Discovery is cool, because if this is out and my commander's out, and I name Wraiths, it basically means whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell, I'm going to draw a card as well. And I think a lot of the rest of this is going to go away. Just too much mana for what they do. I really want my installation, but it's just so limited. And then I have the Storm, I think is actually our combo win con. So that's not bad for enchantments. We want to keep it light on those, light and impactful. And then, of course, most of our artifacts are just going to be mana rocks. The only fast mana I've got in here is Crypt and Soul Ring. We've got multiple 2-drop rocks. Maskwood Nexus is actually a win con for us. Creatures you control are every creature type. Same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. And you can pay 3 tap, create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. This is going to make all of our other utility creatures that aren't wraiths into wraiths, and then turn around and get us close to that magic number of 9. Coat of Arms is a great, just boom, win con. Eldrazi Monument will give all of our creatures 1/1 flying and dustable. And then Magic Mirror is actually really good card advantage. So that kind of sorts those out. Which is honestly really good because that still gives us how much ramp here? 7? Decent. That is not great, but it's decent. There's also Priest of Forgotten Gods and the Dark Rituals, so that's 9. And if I dug out a Wayfarer's Bauble, that would be 10. In fact, I think we're going to grab that Wayfarer's Bauble. And of course, I'm a sucker for particular prints, so we're going to swap out our current Dimir Signet with an old border one. Oh ho ho! Oh, I forgot the Urza and Mishra decks each came with one. That's funny. Okay. That's a duplicate. That is fine. Get that bobble in there and get us up to 10 ramp, which isn't great. We might have to dig out some bigger mana rocks here. And of course, that's what the Urza box is for, because it has plenty of those. And I believe an unused. Let's see. Transcendent Message is going to be awesome for us. That's going in there. Where are you? So I know I took them out. There's a Nyx Lotus, a Cage Sun. Interesting. They're not in here. Gilded Lotus and Thran Dynamo should be somewhere. Oh, that was my knee. Let's see. Might be in my Karn box. Let's find out. I know I have shiny ones too. So Squirrel Brain just wants me to get the really shiny ones. Let's see. There they are. Thran Dynamo and Gilded Lotus. Let's go. That'll get us up to 12 ramp and give us some big ones to try and pop off some of those turn spells a little earlier. And that Transcendent Message definitely goes in our stuff, because Convoke lets me just tap down Wraiths to draw. I think they're black Wraiths, though. They are. But that'll be okay. We make lots of other bodies as well. So let's get in here on curve. Got 4 and 5. I do think Loltha's going to go. As cool as she does make me tokens, she draws. It's just not enough, I guess. Not as impactful as I want it to be. Ashiok and Professor Onyx, though, are great. Onyx will win me the game. So we've kind of figured out roughly what our important stuff is here. I think the next step is going to be to look at the instance. And we're going to pull all of the kill spells and all the counter spells, because it's so easy to just jam your deck full of both and then be like, wow, why is my deck not working? And let's see. Mission briefing actually is important because it's cast, lets me mill myself, and then gets me a little bit more. There's removal. Counter, counter. Removal, removal, removal. Counter, counter, counter. Counter steal. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Change of plans, I think, is actually essential. So we'll start thinning some of this out and kind of clean up all these piles here. Because again, lots of really cool stuff and lots of things to distract myself with. And that's just not what we want out of this. So I'm going to thin this down a little bit, get some of my utilities set down, and see how we like it. Let's see, good old Scarab God, Nimrus. If we're reanimating, River Kelpie and Oscar are a must. Havingol, which lets me cast. Cavalier's good. That's a cast trigger, should have already been in there. Calidus Assassin's too good not to run. Like, nothing else comes close. We've got some other, like, really good things in here, but Calidus Assassin's just A+. Absolutely. And there are some greedier cards I could go with, too, like Sphinx of the Second Sun, that just aren't as great for me. We're still going to set the rest of this utility back down. But the important part is that we're getting a better idea of what we have and where we're going with it. not so great part is I just reversed the mana cost of all those piles. Don't mind me making my life harder than it has to be. I'm really good at that. Oh, hang on. Hang on. That's removal. Drown in the Lock is too good to not run. It's so versatile. And a lot of the spells that I want to run are like that. They're just going to be really versatile and good. And it's even better if they've got additional options beyond just kill stuff for me attached to them. Hang on. Did I miss out on Baleful Mastery? Ain't no way in hell. Nope. Must be here. Okay. That's fine. Everybody says run Lim-Dûl's Vault, and I think Lim-Dûl's Vault is trash. There, I said it. Now we have all of our counters and removal there, so we've got our good options. It's really easy for my brain to assume that things are important, so I end up overcomplicating things. But it's nice to be able to just kind of cut down like that. Feed the Swarm is essential. It's the only way I'm killing an enchantment in black-blue. Rite of Replication's great. Let's see. A lot of other stuff here. Rise of the Dark Realms is great. We'll just tuck all that. It's honestly not too bad. That's a 4-drop. That is a 9, which is surprisingly not our top, but welcome to looking at turn cards. We're good on all these. Do not believe I need any of these. Altered Dementia maybe we'll go back for, but it's just not necessary. So, we've dropped all of our extras. And our extra pile grows. So now, let's see here. Keep those separated. Keep that there. So a friend of mine gave me some really good advice at one point, and it was to build from your win con outward. So let's double count sleeves here. We've got 1, 2. There's 20. Oh, and then I messed up. Oh, hey, that's not one of my silver sleeves. I might actually be short. We are 6 short. There we go. All right. So now we have 100 sleeves. So we'll take 30. 35 is our lands. That number never goes any lower for me. I don't care how much fast mana I'm running, whatever the hell else. So first and foremost, we need draw, ramp, and whatever our win con is. The hard part is deciding what the win con is. So we know for a fact that Coat of Arms will pop me off. Maskwood Nexus will turn all my tokens into Wraiths. And Eldrazi Monument will let me fly over. Those are all really effective, good mana cost. So we can go ahead and pull the sleeves. This is our basis for combat win cons. Because it's necessary to consider both combat and non-combat. And they're not bad at 4 and 5 mana. Then in our enchantments here, Eye of the Storm is also a win con. So, yep, the rest of that's pretty tame. If we can get to Eye of the Storm at 7 mana, we can stick a turn card underneath it, and we can laugh about it. Can also potentially backfire, and then our opponent wins. So it's a double-edged sword, which I think it makes it a more acceptable convoluted win con, in my opinion. Anybody can do it. I mean, if an opponent has an instant, I go to move to my extra turn, and then they turn around and say cast Path to Exile at the end of my turn. They would then cast the stack, steal all the turn cards underneath it, and then I'm out turns. Hey, thank you for the follow. I super appreciate that. I'll drink to that. Oh, there we go. Okay, just checking things to make sure. Nope. Okay. So we have our win cons established. And I think Professor Onyx is another one. Just because of the fact that we're going to get passive damage. And let's see. +1, you lose 1 life, look at the top 3, 1 to hand, rest to graveyard. -3, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. And -8, each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life. Repeat this process 6 more times. So it's kind of like a Torment of Hailfire, but she's passively going to be, they lose 2, I gain 2. I guess since this is a bit of a Spellslinger deck, we could also turn around and put in a couple other things that would do similar stuff, but I'm just not as concerned about it. Let's see. We also have Tendrils of Agony as a win con. And then we need more turn spells than God. And that's going to establish our basic win con setup. So from there, we would just need to start figuring out all of our filler. I think Beacon's really good. Yeah, I think we just fucking run them all, honestly. Make kids cry. Gotta be like an ogre sometimes. You mean you make people cry? The hard part is once you get to these like stupidly high mana costs that you just need so much ramp to consistently get to them that you almost don't even want to run more than 1 or 2 of them, or you lose out on all of your like what I consider power slots when you keep your mana curve tame but you fill the top end with like turn spells and stuff like that, because then what should be the most powerful spells in your deck are turn cards, which are powerful but they're not ending the game powerful, and that's the danger in playing something like that, because it's just bait. It's tempting you to overstretch yourself, and if I tap out for 7 mana and somebody counterspells my turn spell, I mean fair, but also like that's a bad turn, and I effectively just gave my opponent a lot of leverage because I have now cast out. And especially if they get away with countering it, then they know for a fact that I don't have any counter magic, and it allows them to kind of go ham on their turn. But that's where hopefully our counter magic is really going to come in handy. I don't build turn decks often. I mostly find them really boring. However, I'm hoping with the Wraiths that we'll be able to end the game fairly quickly at that point. Also, anything foil gets a protective sleeve because curling is an issue. I live in Illinois, and the Midwest is not known for being nice to cardboard. Let's see. I think the only turn card that isn't in here will be Nexus of Fate. Um, and that's in my Urza deck at the moment. As a way to not mill myself out when I pop the whole library. Though the deck's not designed for it, that's the idea. See, now, this is an okay mana curve, right? But we have all these cards now as we're building the basis of our deck that cost an astronomical amount of mana. And it's just not that great. So, since we've established what our win cons are, at this point we need to ramp. So we're going to get Crypt. This whole pile's going in right now. Wayfar's Bauble. Soul Ring. Get me a shiny little Signet. A regular Signet. Felwar Stone's good. Even if you're not playing, even if you're playing colorless, Felwar Stone's still 2 mana ramp. Thought Vessels used to be $10 too. That's still crazy to me that you can get a Thought Vessel for like $1 now, because when they first got printed, they were a commander only print. So you can see how this is starting to take shape. Our mana curve is still way, way higher than I want it. But it's not too bad because, like, if I don't add any more big mana spells like that, we've got 6 is my cutoff, and 5 is kind of iffy. So, like, looking at the deck's mana curve right now, out of, let's see, we have 35 lands, 2 things in the command zone. So that makes us 37 cards, leaving 63 playables. So out of 63 playable cards, 4, 6, 9 of 63, which is not great for a high mana curve. And then it goes up to 14 out of 63 are 5 or more. The flip side of that is out of 63, that leaves us 49 playable cards that will be mana cost 4 or less. So we're doing an okay job-ish. So we have our win cons. We have our ramp to get there. Now we need the draw that's going to help us get there as well. And that's where my sad little fish here comes in. Search for Azcanta will let me mill on my upkeep. Do we have any other draw enchantments? Kindred Discovery is way too strong to not put in. Because that'll be choose creature type, Wraiths. Whenever creature you control the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. That's going to be one of our strongest draw engines in the deck. As soon as we find that, we are just gas all day, just going. So let's see here. How about bodies? What do we have for bodies that draw? Priest of Forgotten Gods, Morbid Opportunist, Braids. Let's see, what else? Curiosity Crafter, Archmage. Witch King has to go in because he's a Wraith. Then, let's see. Hullbreaker's going to go in because it's a win con. We're still primarily focusing on draw, but need to get some of the necessary things in. This is cool thematically. Witch King, Bringer of Ruin, 6 mana, 5/3 flying. Whenever it attacks, defending player sacrifices a creature with the least power among creatures they control. It's showing like the raw terror aura, and the little people on the battlefield panicking about it. It's just mechanically really cool to see the way they've manifested some of the magic of these people. Hey, thanks for the follow, Fratty. Big fan of just some of the thematic stuff they've brought from Lord of the Rings into this. I just need more of the Wraith cards, you know? Let's see here. Curiosity Crafter is going to be great for us. So is Morbid Opportunist. We really want to put that sack pressure on there. And this is where you start to see some of the overlap come in. Because we have I sack, you sack. I sack, you sack. and then we throw in Grave Pact and Dictate of Erebos, which continues to add the pressure of my things go away and you pay for it also. I don't have a way to sacrifice my own creatures outside of like Braids and Priest of Forgotten Gods, but Dictate and Grave Pact are still really great because your opponent can still block poorly. Or in the case of swinging at me, you can be as beefy as you want, but if I chump block you, you're going to have to sack something. So let's see here. What do we have for instant speed draw? Need that Brainstorm because turn 1 draw. Need that Opt. We like our Plumb the Forbidden, Frantic Search. Let's see here. Dig Through Time, of course. That's a decent start. And then didn't we grab, yep, all the sorcery draw. So that'll give us a lot of draw in turn 1. The big thing is that while we're scrying, we're kind of getting to set up for a lot of this initial stuff, because our main goal is going to be to get to Lord of the Nazgul and to start pumping out Wraiths as quickly as possible. The only way we're going to get 2 Wraiths is our commander, because there's just not enough of them in the game overall. Let's see here. Dig Through Time is a hard one to kind of put on the mana curve because it's a variable. It's effectively an X drop. You never really know what it's going to cost, and you can't just always assume it's going to be best case scenario, because most of the time it's just not. This gives us a lot, though, for a really good start. We are running out of sleeves, but that's quite a bit of draw just to get the game going. A little fat on the middle curve, and I don't like that. But let's see what we can do for those 3 casts. Also, cost reductions are going to be really important to us. Cast and make tokens. We want our other commanders in the 99. And he's a Wraith Noble, which makes Dawson and Perfection a little less cool. Let's see. I'm like, wow, this 3 curve sucks. Let's add some 4 and 2 drops. That'll fix it. So we get this Baral in here. We'll get the Haughty Djinn. I'm a big fan of cost reductions. I consider them ramp. So that actually would put us up to, I think, 14 sources of ramp. We are running out of slots, though, so some of that infamous removal that I was harping so much about and counter magic is going to have to fill the rest of that. So we've got a whole bunch of utility. Mana curve's a little thicker than I like it at the 4-drop range, but 4 drops are just so dangerous because that's where the text starts to get really good. And you start to see a lot more, like, what am I looking for here? Impactful cards, I guess. Let's see. We need Arenicus' Vile Duplication. We need Mind's Desire. First off, how many open slots do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is perfect. So we'll go for the 4-drop and the 6-drop. And then we will have 10 spots for interaction, which honestly I think is a pretty fair number. I'm not as concerned about getting in the tutors and stuff like that. Miss that on some of the funner spells, but what we really want is a functioning deck to start with, and then we can turn around and start to kind of tweak it and figure out what is or isn't working for it. So let me stack up some of the Keepsies cards here so we can kind of lay out what our best options are. I want Tainted Strike, but I always want Tainted Strike. So Drown in the Lock's going to be our most versatile as kill and counter. Um, Good old counter spell never fails. Let's see here. I didn't get Consuming Aberration, so the mill stuff just isn't going to matter as much. Baleful Mastery's great. Commit's great. Commit's especially great because the other half of it's a wheel. It'll make everybody shuffle their hand and graveyard in and draw 7, which can be really, really useful, and people forget about it. It also means that I can throw it away with like a wheel or something and be able to utilize it later. An Offer You Can't Refuse is one of the best counter spells printed in the last like 5 years. I don't care that somebody gets 2 treasures. That's a 1-mana negate. My commander at 4 power makes Stubborn Denial a lot better than it normally would be. I kind of use that as the bar. And then, let's see here. We've got Delay to counter any spell. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. How about Reality Shift for an exile? Dismember for a drain. That puts us up to 9. And I think just OG negate. And that gives us 3 non-creature, 2 regular, the versatile one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removal that's not attached to a body, which I think is a solid start. And then from there, if you really wanted to, you could kind of break the deck down. It depends on how in-depth you want your deck building to be. I'm a big fan of breaking it down into, okay, so I got this much draw, this much counter magic, this much kill, and seeing after the fact. But I think the most important thing is keeping an eye on your mana curve, which we did okay. The 4 mana concentration sucks. Baleful Mastery goes in the 2 drops because that's a 2 mana spell. Nobody casts Baleful Mastery for 4 mana. They give an opponent they want to like them a card, and then they let the rest of it go. So I think we managed to throw together a fairly cohesive deck here. I'm going to see if I can strip some of these higher cost cards and kind of get them out of the way if they're just not as efficient as we want them to be. Especially this 4 curve here. But I mean, the majority of it's still going to be really good. Let's see. Curiosity Crafter is going to be a lot. I feel like we can cut that. Just squeezing for space at this point and making sure that all of my impulse grabs are actually good cards. Got turns. I think we can do without Eldrazi Monument. Turn, delve turn, 2 turns. Beacon of Tomorrows can go. Unlike Nexus of Fate, it won't shuffle itself back in. Temporal Mastery is a 2 mana extra turn. Eye of the Storms are win con. I don't think Walk the Aeons or Karn's Temporal Sundering matter for us as much. So we can kind of cut down on some of these high costs, which actually is really nice because that really lowers our high end curve, and these are more X drops than they are like big mana spells because of the delve. So let's see what we can do for getting some more instants and sorceries, and at the same time, let's see. Just got so many good options in these colors that are rude as hell. And that's my favorite. Oh, man. How about a ley line? Because we can begin the game with it on the battlefield. And we've got 5 spots to open up. So let's do more counter magic. I am undecided. I think Memory Plunder's a great sleeper hit. And the rest of that can sit for a little bit. I really want to do the cards that instant speed it in the turn because they're rude as hell. And when somebody's like, ha ha ha, I combo off. And it's like, man, that'd be a shame if your turn just fucking ended right now. Memory Lapse because that'll give us another counter spell that will touch everything. I like Tail's End because it'll stop some stuff that we struggle with. And also counters legendaries. So 2 mana counter somebody's commander because fuck you is always great. Let's see here. We just need draw, but I'm trying to avoid the high cost cards in that process. So how about we Windfall? That seems like a good compromise. So let's see here. I just want to play with that Karn's Temporal Sundering because it's foil. And that artwork in foil is just like A+. Anytime that we're trading out high cost cards for 2 and 3 drops is going to be really good for us. It's also another conditional counterspell and a general counterspell. We did add another 4 drop, but we brought a lot of the high end down. So we're off to a solid start. I think we've got it wrapped up. And then of course our Haunted one is a 3 drop. But ideally I'll be able to rule 0 that into the command zone. Which would be awesome because it'd make all my wraiths 5/3s. I would have a 6/3 commander that is swinging 5/3s at people. I want the Nazgul in here. You can't see it because the windows have, like, the natural lighting outside has washed it out, but they all say Nazgul 1 through 9. I do have a lead on my first one. A friend of mine pulled one and offered it to me right at the beginning of the stream. He didn't even know that I was streaming to build this deck, so that's awesome. He also pulled the Witch King of Angmar, so I'd just be down 8 other Nazgul and the Ring Wraiths. And actually the Ring Wraiths are fucking awesome. Big fan of that. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and get the lands all sleeved up, and then actually we can still do that part on stream when I run the practice hand and see how fast and efficient this is. So shuffle this bad boy up, get some lands sleeved here, and then we can shuffle up and run a few practice hands and see if I'm garbage at deck building or not. Let's see. I'll stick those on top. Same for these. Nice, super high quality proxies. Nazgul. So let's see, we're doing 35 lands. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 non-basics. So out of 35 lands, that leaves us with 19. Let's see here. Just casually flipping through the deck. It looks like the majority of it's going to be blue. So we'll do 10 islands. And that's also all of our 1-drops to draw. So yeah, we'll do 10 islands and 9 swamps to fill this out. And of course, half these things are shiny because I am a raccoon and I can't resist myself. Just, if it's affordable to buy the foil, I buy the foil. I'm not going to pay 5 times the price of the card unless it's something really special, but also, for land deck tech, getting things in that hate on people out of a land slot is awesome. So like Scavenger Grounds will let me exile graveyards, Ghost Quarter lets me kill powerful lands. Anything like that that you can get off of a land slot would highly recommend. Specifically lands that kill other lands. It also reduces the salt. Targeted land destruction is a necessary thing in Magic because things like Nykthos and Gaia's Cradle and High Market and Castle Garenbrick and whatever the hell else exists. Reliquary Tower and your opponent's got a full hand. You kill it on their end step and make them cry. You can also be rude and just kill the things that are putting them on color. Like if they've only got, say they're playing white, red, green, and they've only got 1 red land, you kill the red land, they can't play. but mostly it's just there as like utility because sometimes shit just needs to die. So let's see here. We wanted 9 swamps. Do I have 9 shiny swamps? 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's go with the stained glass one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. Get these bad boys sleeved up, and we'll run some practice hands with my hand laying out on the board so we can see how this is going to go on curve, what my options look like. I always try, once I'm done building a new deck, to just sit here and play it out, and we'll count turns and life total if I'm spending my life and stuff like that. Once you get further in the game and you're looking at like responses in your hand and stuff, it's kind of harder to predict. And you know, a lot of the times you're just sitting there and pretending to kill something or counter something because you left your mana up to look at your own pacing. Super duper worth it though. Just to get an idea of, can I play this deck? Is it going to play out like I think it is? Am I able to cast my spells? And it's a difficult thing to figure out without actually being in a game environment where there's pressure and your opponents are swinging back at you, disrupting you, stopping you from getting away with it, forcing you into bad blocks, stuff like that you just can't account for in a situation outside of it. Okay. It's funny, I took all those cards out of Broody Clad and I'm only using like 3 of them in the deck. But it'll be okay. So let's shuffle this guy up. I prefer like a big open hand shuffle like that. I have very large hands, so it's pretty easy for me. It doesn't necessarily work for people, but you just kind of let gravity do the work. It's nicer on your sleeves, and then if you kind of keep it tilted down, you can't see any of your cards in the process. So that way you're not tempted to manipulate anything in a way you shouldn't be. And then you just kind of let gravity do it. So that way you're not forcing any sleeves or anything like that. And then usually just give it a good random cut. So let's see here. Got our Lord of the Nazgul. Let's see what an opening hand would look like. Underground Sea, Swamp, Island, Memory Plunder, Castle Lochthwain, Baral, Soul Ring. Obviously, that's a capable hand. We have playable spells. We have Soul Ring turn 1. So, let's see. It would be Underground Sea. Let me make sure you guys can see all that. Organize a bit by mana cost. Lands at the back. So we go Underground Sea. We go Soul Ring. Actually, this is a pod, so I draw. Cool. And that would be turn 1. Turn 2, we would draw again. That's a clump. Don't like that. Get Castle Lochthwain out. Is a swamp, so it enters untapped into Baral, who is rude as hell. No use for the Soul Ring. That's sad. Draw Command Tower. Go 5. Be Commander turn 3. Good old Soul Ring starts. You take a sippy here. Hippies, hydrate. All right. Turn 4. Ooh, Witch King, Bringer of Ruin. So, don't have very many instants and sorceries to cast right now. We'll get our 1 swamp down. Well, no. We want blue sources. We've already got Castle Lochthwain down. Go 6 mana and get out our Witch King. And it would probably be combat and swing, assuming they don't have flyers on turn 4. We go to turn 5. Ooh, Kindred Discovery. We play the island. Go for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Name Wraiths. And then at this point, we go combat. Attack with 2 Wraiths. My opponent would tax. They would sack. I attack with 2 wraiths. I would draw. Cool. We've got Ghost Quarter for a kill land, and then Counterspell, and double blue up, which is really nice. So at this point, we've put on some pressure. We've developed a bit of a board state. We would pass, and I think it'd be safe to assume that a Counterspell is in order. We cast, we get a Wraith, we draw into Mana Crypt. This is going to be good. Go to the next turn. Start turn, draw. Offer you can't refuse. So, knowing that we are blue heavy, get that down. We don't know if we need the crypt. So most of the time it's safer to keep crypt in your hand until you know you need it. So at that point it would be attack, because we want to see what our card advantage is going to get us. This is a throwaway body. These have flying, so it's pretty safe to assume. I don't care if this dies or not, and it's got menace. So we would draw 3 cards for attacking wreaths. Get another island. We've already used our land play for turn. Get Temporal Trespass and a Hullbreaker Horror. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could crypt up to 10. And then Temporal Trespass is 11. Delve the counterspell out of our graveyard. So we would cast to take our first extra turn, leaving us 6 cards in hand. Make a Wraith. Draw a card. Oh, and you know what? I didn't have to delve because they cost 1 less. Our drawn card is Wayfarer's Bauble. Go to the turn. We would crypt. We'll assume damage. Let's see. We will draw Scavenger Grounds for turn. Go to combat. 4 Wraiths this time. 4 cards. Can we get a turn card? Haunted One, search for Escanta, Coat of Arms, Island. So let's see. How much of this can we get rid of? And then 4, 5, 6, 7. We still haven't done land play for turn. Hullbreaker Horror. Then 1 mana to cast Wayfarer's Bauble, picking up Mana Crypt with Hullbreaker Horror. Recast Mana Crypt, picking up Soul Ring. We now have infinite mana. Infinite mana would get me... Black and a blue and infinite would feed into Search for Escanta and Haunted One and Coat of Arms. We could also crack the Wayfarer's Bauble and go for a swamp, because we haven't even played one yet. And then land play for turn will be an island to make sure that we can, an offer you can't refuse. We didn't hit an extra turn card off of our draws, which is unfortunate. But we would pass, and I guess people can have turns. Playing the Crypt and the Soul Ring would let me bounce some stuff the last time around. And then we could go to our turn. Assume damage from Crypt. Coat of Arms and Haunted One means all of my Wraiths are getting 3/3, and when they attack, they'll get 2/0 Undying, which is really dumb. Brawl hasn't been nearly as effective as I thought he was going to be, but he did make it so my counterspell's still in my graveyard. However, I don't think I got Snapcaster or Torrential Gearhulk in here, so that's less relevant. But we would combat, and we would swing and draw 4. Tail's End, Island, Grave Pact, Felwar Stone. So that's a lot of damage. We could Felwar Stone, cast it with Crypt, bounce the Crypt, recast Crypt, and it's just so easy to make infinite mana off of these. Because then we can use 3 black to Grave Pact, play Swamp as land for turn, and then we're still sitting on enough mana that we can pop any of our counter spells and Memory Plunder. But I think at this point my opponents would probably just be dead. And I've got the counter magic to make sure it lands. Okay. We were up 1 land. So that was turn 8. That Hullbreaker starts to become a problem. That's not terrible. I don't know about Baral or about the Dictate without the ability to sacrifice things on my own, because the important part of Dictate is being able to do it at instant speed. So we'll see about that. We'll go ahead and run through another hand and see if we can count turns. Ideally, it'd be nice to have pressure on by like turn 4, 5, just depending on what you're able to play. Obviously, a Soul Ring start is a Soul Ring start, so you're just going to be way ahead of other people. Let's see here. 3, 7. Gilded Lotus, Arcane Signet, Wayfarer's Bauble, Emergent Zone, Swamp, Sakashima, Underground Sea. This is good. This is fine. So, Pod, we draw first. Hullbreaker 4. Underground Sea again. Into Wayfarer's Bauble. Then we go to turn 2. Serum Visions. We would probably play a Swamp. Go for the Signet. Use Signet to Visions. So we draw. It's another island. And then we scry 2. Our scry is Priest of Forgotten Gods and an island. We will bottom the island. Leave Priest in play. And go to turn 3. Draw the Priest. Play the island. Pay 2 for Priest. 2 for Bauble. Love Wayfarer's Bauble. It's so good. We want more blue mana than God, so islands are the way anytime we pop Wayfarer's Bauble, unless I'm off black. But Priest of Forgotten Gods is going to get me some blacks. We'll see. And let's see. Go to turn 4. Mind's Desire. We would play Emergent Zone. Go 5 mana. Play Gilded Lotus. And stop there, because that's one shy of the Lord of the Nazgul. Go to turn 6. Stubborn Denial. Nope. We're going to go 3, 4, 5. Play the Lord. Go 4. Get greedy. Play Sakashima as a Lord. So we now have 2 Lord of the Nazgul. Which is like A+. That's where we want to be with this. Because that just means that the more instants and sorceries I cast, the more wraiths I get, and the faster I get to that magic number. So now at 2 commanders, we just need 4 instants and sorceries. And I have 2 of them right here. So let's see. Turn 7. Commit to Memory. Let's see here. I think we could commit something for 4 and make 2 wraiths. From there we could tap, sacrifice 2 wraiths, make my opponent's sacrifice, I add 2 black, and I draw. That's our land for turn. Use the 2 black, 6, Mind's Desire, So we would make 2 more. Shuffle. Then exile top 2. Mystic Remora and an island. Island stays gone. Mystic Remora is cast. Mind's Desire is done. Cool. And we still have it up enough that on my opponent's turn, when they try and kill one of my commanders, likely the commander, I could Stubborn Denial it, making 2 more Wraiths. And then we go to my turn. I draw from Mystic Remora. I only had the 1 blue up on their end step, so that Brainstorm doesn't matter. We're at 6 out of 9. So let's draw for turn. We, before knowing what our draw was, we pay the 1 for Mystic Remora. It's a dig through time. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Leaving a blue up. Hullbreaker. 1 to Brainstorm, where we go to 8 and we would bounce something. We would draw 3, put 2 back, Priest, 2, and a blue to draw, getting Delay in hand and playing Frantic Search. Get 2 back, Hullbreaker bounces something. We will untap 3 lands, draw 2, discard 2, being Swamp, and dig through time, and then go 2 for Search for Escanta, because it's going to flip on my upkeep. And then we have so many Wraiths for combat. Search would bounce another thing. Frantic Search would bounce another thing. Then we would go to turn. And then I think at this point it's lethal. Because upkeep, look, Archmage Emeritus. Then if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you transform. Search becomes a land. I would bin the Archmage because I can't cast him. So I draw for the turn, and now we run into the problem of sitting on counter magic that we can't cast unless our opponent does something. So this would be the point where we would try and bait them and just board them. And then if they have it, we negate it, which would make 2 more Wraiths and 9s, and then we win. Decent. That's not bad. We are functioning. I don't like that I need to be casting instants and sorceries, and counter magic is opponent dependent, but counter magic is potent. So I'm content with this and need to play it in a real environment before I can determine what I am or am not missing. So if you lovely folks will give me a couple seconds, I'm gonna switch some things around and we're gonna flip over to MTG Arena. Hoping to play that for about an hour and just kind of knock out my dailies. So go ahead and do that. Ha! That's funny. Oh, this is all messed up now. Wow, that is really annoying. Okay. All right. Let me fix this real quick. OBS. You beautiful piece of crap. That's annoying. Hang on. We just gotta fix some stuff here. So, game capture. We'll do that one. Hey. There we go. You can almost see it. I have no idea what the hell is up with OBS all of a sudden, but we're here. That's really annoying, honestly. It shouldn't be that difficult. Oh. The important part is that you guys can see it. I hate having to set this up on the fly, but for some reason my original setup is not working on OBS. That's super annoying. Hey, there I am. And we'll just use me to cover the cute little nickel bowls that'll be at the center of the screen. Good enough. So, what are our dailies? Cast 20 black or green spells, cast 20 black or red spells, and play 25 lands. Cool, I'm playing my mono black in Historic. Okay, that doesn't look too terrible. I'm still annoyed that it's not working like it's supposed to, but I don't want to mess with all the buttons and stuff midstream. So, let's get this show on the road. Actually, it's pretty much showing almost my entire screen. It's got it all the way out to the right side, it's just not showing the left side. So we're going to play Historic Best of One with Phyrexia and Gary.
We'll show up here.
Hey, shut up, robot. Thank you.
Use the Find Match tab to try out a new format.
Oh, yes, we're going to have Lord of the Rings quotes on the screen now. That's awesome. I keep messing with this and see why it's being so touchy. Because it's not even properly sized. That's something on OBS with the preview. Oh man, that's such a keepable hand. Remove your hand, and my favorite turn 1 play. Ooh, and I draw Shieldred right off the bat? Hell yeah. Okay. That looks much better, but it's still cut off. I'm so annoyed. Okay, let me just take my turn 1 and make this guy mad. Hello, yes, I would like to see your entire strategy. Cool. Let's get rid of that. How about we start to put pressure on? Hey, And my beer's gone. Time for another one. They still haven't played anything. Well. Oh yeah, he's got a response. Oh, I doubt it's removal. It's the fucking growth spiral. Is it a bounce? Yep, he's gonna spiral. And then if he gets a fading hope, he'll bounce it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Good hits. Very good hits. Hang on. Oh, Jesus. Okay, my bad. I've apparently had the settings turned up this entire time. So people haven't been able to chat. So, you know, hello, yes, I am trash. Hi, Fratty. God. Well, glad we got that fixed. I was like, man, people have been watching, but everybody's been so quiet. Like, are people even still here? And yeah, it's just, you know, me doing it to myself. Yeah, there it is. Gotta bait out the removal. That's fine, because the Knight of the Ebon Legion's the thing that's gonna win me the game. God. Some of the Twitch settings I'm just not that great with. Ooh, okay. So, what you got there, buddy? You're gonna sit on 5 open mana. What if we just sunk some mana into this? You got a response to that? Yeah? Gonna maybe bounce back to my hand? Yep. Okay. How about, hear me out, if, no! If I played my spells properly. Jesus Christ. That was not the right mode. Okay. How about we go combat? Fading Hope? Yeah? What I want him to do is block. If I can bait the block, then Liliana's Triumph will fix my fuck up. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Is it a counterspell? Is it the counterspell? Simic Flash is a really good deck. I've built variants of it. Oh man, that's so easy to do though. Like, there's so many cards out there. Hence me having like 2 whole stacks of things I wasn't even gonna play with. Like sitting on the side of my desk here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just lost the game due to my own misplays, which is super unfortunate. Yep. And now he's sitting on 6 mana, so the Sublime Epiphany is just going to be a problem. Bait. Give it. Yeah, I'm just going to give it to him. That was rough. I think the best pirate I've seen so far is Admiral Beckett Brass. Hey. Looks like I had some previous progress from There was a day at work we were super slow, so I pulled out my phone last week to play some Magic when we were just sitting there. I'm just so giddy about the Lord of the Rings quotes. I do believe... I like how it even yells at me to be nice in my own chat. Oh, I haven't installed the bot yet. Okay, that's fine. This is a keepable curve. Cool, 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 cool. Off to a great start. Oh. Let me see here. Gotta clean up my browser. There we go. Yeah, I don't have the bot for it. Oh, I know what deck this is. I play this deck. This is Mono White Life Gain. That's really cool. There is partner commanders. There's a giant pirate. We're gonna leave our mana up and just attack. Yeah, it's a giant pirate that you can like sacrifice treasures. And then there's like Pietro something, I think. It's a pirate you control, deals combat damage to a player, you make a treasure. Yeah, yeah. Put an invitation counter on it. If you attack with 2 or more creatures, turn draw. Otherwise, make a human. Oh, that's cool. Okay. They're just making me want to play my mono white deck. Yeah, you've got a human. Bait. I don't think this is worth it.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it.
Gonna get her down so I can really on this triumph next turn.
Sacrifices must be made.
Oh, this is historic. I just don't put enough time into Arena to play Standard. And it rotates too fast, so I just... Yeah, I don't really care. Hey, that's actually gonna go in my mono white deck. Go ahead. Take the bait. Of course not. So...
Don't overthink things.
Yeah, I really love Historic for the same reason I like Modern and Commander. They just don't really... So after I've invested time and stuff, they don't go away. Yep. Go ahead and discard your other card, buddy. I'm just going to run you out. And if he doesn't get a creature card in his graveyard, he's not going to have anything to do with that class. Oh, there it is. The Righteous Valkyrie is going to be a problem. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll get that out of the way so it'll auto-pass priority. I love Modern. I just don't have a local game store. Ooh, he kept the right card. Oh, that's a problem. He's going to give it lifelink. Yep. Of course.
This isn't how things were supposed to go.
I can give that Death Touch, and I can buff that. It's going to do nothing. And now we just start swinging Obliterators. I have a mono black deck that's actually based off of this deck for my Modern deck. And I built it just so that I would actually have one in my bag again. Man, he's just gonna keep giving lifelink. It's okay though. He'll have one good turn, and then Obliterator exists, and then he has a problem. Full block. I just wish I had more opportunities to play Modern, honestly, because it's like, it's really fun. And I enjoy more competitive formats. I think he's got me here. Because he doesn't have to block the Obliterator, and all he's got to do is fly over me twice. And I can make him sack stuff, but... No, yeah, he's got me. I think I need to put targeted removal back in here. Whoa. Man. That's one of the biggest problems with Modern, and that's why I built Monocolor, because it, like, the cost to entry for like a dedicated like top 8 Modern deck is just so egregiously high. It's just hard for a lot of people. At least like with Commander, with it being more casual and like Singleton, you don't need as much. What if we pull those? 2 of those. 22 lands, 60 cards. I need more targeted removal, so... We'll throw in... Oh, it's all on my sideboard. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be at least 2 of those. And 2 Murderous Riders. There we go. Call of the Ring. Yeah, Phyrexian Arena is slow. It's just alternatives don't really exist very much, and I can offset it with Shieldred. So it's a net 1 and a card. Let's see. Dude, Commander is actually the way most people find the game. Yeah, Historic is everything that's been printed on Arena. Like, as Arena has existed. Maybe upkeep the ring tempts you. Whenever you choose creatures or ring bearer, you may pay 2 life if you do draw. That's not terrible. And it's not legendary either. Yeah, I greatly prefer Commander. Like, out of all of the formats that I could play and, like, want to use to introduce friends and stuff to the game, Commander is, like, the one for me. And, see, it's 1 mana cheaper, but it's also 2 life instead of 1. The evasion is nice, though. I don't think it would be a bad 1-of to try out. I just don't think I have rare wild cards right now, or if I do, I've only got 1. And I'm trying to build my... Oh, yeah, see, the May helps a lot. Here we go. Targeted removal, split second sack, hand hate. This is a good start. Yeah, because I've definitely died to my own Phyrexian Arenas. Like, stacking 2 or 3 of them in a game and have somebody just pass the turn to me and I die. I also like the fact that now there's Commander Precons for every single set. Fucking Christ. Oh, shit. Well, might as well just bait the removal. Yep. Ooh. Fatal Push is, in fact, a good card. Watch, now I throw off my land ratio. I fucking did. God damn it. Yup. There he goes. Wow, that is a cool card. Be a shame if he sacrificed it. And you can have a fatal push. Yeah, 2 pairs does. God damn it. Give me my lands. Out of 64 cards, 22 lands is still a decent ratio. Do the top 3, put 1 in your hand, rest on the bottom. If you control a giant, pay a blue. Nice. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll allow it. Yeah, Lily is the queen. Hey, there we go. Let's get some of that hand hate going, boys.
We all have things we'd rather.
Can't cast Gary. It's tempting. Gary would have eventually got me somewhere, but I can't cast it right now. So I'm always afraid that if I pitch the thing that I can play to keep the thing that I want to play later and never get to it, I'll just be mad at myself. Because I've done that a lot. Hey. Now it'll be the push.
You won't be outsmarting me.
What do you got? Yeah, but what if you didn't do that? Thank you. That's a saw it coming.
Oh, I really don't have time for you.
Gonna take it. You know, I could have minus her instead and done the Knight of Dust Shadow. That was definitely the play. You know, we'll just sit on that. I don't have to use her. I want my card. What is this guy digging for? Just more bodies? Anytime somebody plays multiple draw spells in a row and doesn't do anything else, I'm like, alright, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? No! Oh, I just pitched my fucking land like an idiot.
I'm tired of your secrets.
I keep jumping and misplaying. Yeah. Should have been play land. Yeah. It's really easy to just misclick. No. We're gonna... Yep, there we go. Oh, I'm not holding removal. Never mind. Full control doesn't even matter. Land first this time. And then we'll just, make them cry.
I've always hated crowds.
Smack. Oh, that's gross. Okay. He can escape it, and when he does, I'm gonna Infernal Grasp it. Come on, buddy. You have priority. Please pass it. I love that you can pet the pets. I really like the little like low mana bodies like this that I can buff. There's also, I think, Misery's Shadow, which says if a creature your opponent controls would die, exile instead. You can. It's got the shade text. Oh, yep. It hurt. Yep. That is okay. I will kill Lily for that motherfucker.
This was boring anyway. It's no fun when... Haven't you ever heard of...
Hey, let's get a
personal
lifelink
space?
creature out. I hear that's really cool. Mostly I want to finish my dailies so I can play with mono white life gain and collected company elves. My 4 best decks on here are all monocolor. And then I think I have black blue rogues. Two cards, so if I can get rid of it now, we're golden. I can make this a 5/5. He's gonna kill me next turn. So why don't we play our Death Touch Boy? And we pass. So I can at least get lifelink, because if he attacks, I don't discard. I'll lose 3 life, I'll go to 1, I'll block lifelink, get me to 3, and he doesn't have enough to get it back. But he does have a handful of shit. Oh, it's cast from your graveyard for a blue. That's why. Okay, I was missing that. I was like, man, this guy is getting so many cards back. Oh. Yup. Just gonna pass priority on that one, so we'll leave him alone.
No gods can protect you now. This is getting fun.
Oof. Hey, we are done with black spells. Cool.
While other formats focus on new cards, Historic is all about,
Go away, bot.
history.
Oh, that's so keepable. This is gonna be great. Very, very excited. Turn 1 Johnny's Welcome. Turn 2 Lunarch Veteran. Turn 3 Heliod. Make kids cry. Hey. God, that's even better. We're 1 off from Devotion to Heliod. That's not right either. Trying to figure out why it's not showing the entire game. I'm just gonna mess this up a little bit real quick. It's bugging me that it won't fit everything. Go ahead, do it. Pussy if you don't. And the next turn I'll beat your ass with my turned on Heliod. Ah! That's slightly better. You can at least see the whole screen now. It's something about my stream resolution. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Okay, so he -1 and then I had to sack it. That's rude. Yeah, but like, what if I just did that? Go ahead, sack another priest. Oh my god. Yep, there he goes again. So I'll have to pop that other Lunarch veteran out of my hand. Man, at that point it's almost a danger to turn on Heliod, but he's also running out of resources and doesn't have enough to activate Castle Garden, Ardenvale, so... Do it! Swing! Yeah! That'll show me. What if I did it again? I built this deck because I hated it, and it's now my most successful deck on Arena. I was tired of playing against it, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just fucking play it. That card is so goddamn disturbing. Oh, Toxic 1. Okay, I haven't seen that represented yet. Jesus Christ, dude. You did it! Or whatever the fuck it is that you're trying to do repeatedly. Jesus Christ. This is Candy's Rhea of War deck all over again. I don't think they realize I'm literally just going to keep doing this. And Heliod will never become a creature. Nice! With your useless ass dealing 1 damage at a fucking time. We're just gonna auto pass priority on that. I don't know. Auto passing priority. That's what that whole button's for. I don't know what they're doing. Sure, you can just do that. They're just gonna stacks me out with bodies. Shit, my phone died. This is not going to go well for me. This is not going to go well at all. I like how it keeps yelling at me and running the timer when I hit auto pass at the start of their turn. It's like I am fully aware and would love it if you just made the auto pass function work, I guess. What is the point of auto pass if it's not auto passing? There we go. My removal isn't that great at the moment either. Destroys a creature with toughness 4 or greater. Fucking douchebag. It's gonna be 6 life, and I have to sack something, and it'll be the Luminous Phantom, so we'll buff the Soul Warden. But they got rid of their other sack engines? That'll be 8 life. Gross. But I think at this point I can just start winning off Castle Ardenvale and get ahead of their 1 stacks. I did see a colorless deck on here the other day that was all stacks. Yep, there we go. Go ahead. Pass priority. Anytime now. You can just do it. It's a button. There you go. He's gonna swing now, because he knows if I block, I die. I lose no matter what. Yep. And you know what? He knew it. What if... Fuck yeah, I do. That was awful. Jesus Christ. Why don't we be the fast deck? And pray. And maybe drink this beer because I want to punch that person. Everybody loves a great comeback story. Never give up. Fucking dipshits. Oh my god. OBS is having a heyday with me right now. Oh my god. OBS, what are you doing? Oh man, I don't even care. I'm just gonna keep that. And we'll go ahead and delete that layer off OBS because it wants to be difficult. Alright. I get to be the fast deck now. Whoa. Or at least hoping I am. Here's the hope. Everybody hates elves, unless you're playing elves. Then elves are great. Smack. This card is so busted. Like... Oh! Oh, great. This is Jeskai control. Super fun. Very, very awesome. Big fan. Yep, you gonna kill that too? Yep. Jeskai control full of planeswalkers. I remember when Jeskai was the dominant deck in standard and it literally just board wiped repeatedly over and over and over again. And that's all they do until they could get some kind of combo win or something. Or develop like one threat. So fucking annoying. When your entire strategy revolves around just board wiping somebody for 40 minutes, you should probably just build a better deck.
I have just the trick for this.
Sure. That's the alchemy version. Yeah! Fuck off. My guy's gonna fight your walker.
I won't forget our time.
And another board wipe? Okay. Oh, look at that! More removal! Without a single body played yet. Wow. You're just a fucking blast at parties, I bet. This guy definitely gets invited to play. And is it another one? I'd bet it is. Nice.
I came into being long before your kind.
At least he's got a body now. Such a great game with all these fun things that the guy is gonna do. Yeah, you're real cool. Seems neat.
Truth lies beyond vision.
Yeah.
The fabric of the multiverse obeys me. My dreams beyond
So neat. Oh, great. We are at 5 board wipes in the graveyard, and Ugin on board. And I'm assuming the permanent, so he's gonna search for, he's gonna cast Granted, he's gonna search for Ulamog, and then he's gonna ult Ugin.
not ignore.
Yeah.
Feel the lick of my
This is
flames. I will call the dragon.
super fun. There you go. Did I miss the part where Arena just became control decks? Goodbye. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry the last bit of that fucking sucked. It's okay. I'm gonna play one more game and then I'm gonna call it. Because I guess I'll just play blue because that's the only way I'm gonna get anything done. That was a Bob Ross quote on that screen. No mistakes in life, only happy accidents. There we go. This is keepable. Sure. Try and get one win in at least. Wow, that was a 2-mana 2/2 Vigilance Double Strike Lifelink. Let's see if we can get one win. That's all I want. I'm gonna go play some other video games. Hey, what if you fucking didn't? Oh man, it's gonna be a hard nope for me, dog. Quite literally in this case. There we go. This is totally fine and balanced Magic, where I'm playing Time Walk, which is one of the OG Power 9. I just discarded a Mox and found another Mox. That's funny. How about we play a Mox? We play this. And then we time walk. Play that cute little Mox Emerald there that's totally bouncing fine, and then let's shuffle another Power 9 into my library. I think I'm going to win, but only because this guy's got mana starved, and I time walked. The fact that you can time walk in Historic is fucking nuts. That Priest of Possibility is totally balanced. I think I'm gonna fly over him. I might actually win this one. Sure. I'm hoping. That'll be 5 flying, 6, 7, 8. And now he'll have to block with the indestructible one. He'll get double strike lifelink. That was actually a net loss for me. Well, no. He gained 4 and I hit him for a total of 7, so net 3 damage to him. That was worth it. That sweet, sweet Nixos. Wow. I bumped space with my thumb and went to attackers. I'll kill it. You swing in for that life, and I will kill that motherfucker so fast, I swear to God. Got him. Gotta hit him with the GG. Mono Blue Oracle is mean. Yay! I got one whole win. Ah, Jesus Christ. That's okay. All that control that I ran into just kind of burnt me out for the day. Good sesh though. I managed to build a whole commander deck, play it out a little bit, make sure it worked, and get in all of my dailies and play my 4 favorite decks that I've got on Arena right now. So it's a good sesh. I super appreciate the follows from everybody that came out to just hang out or stumbled onto me. Definitely come hang out in the Discord. I will be uploading this to YouTube as well. So at some point, I'll have I have a pretty substantial backlog that I'm building up. Ha. Sorry, I got caught up in memes that people were sending me. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. I super appreciate it. I'm trying to do this more regularly, so I should be back soon. I'm going to diversify my games a little bit as well. So I might be playing some Battlefield 2042 here soon, depending on if my party can behave themselves enough to not violate the terms of service. But, we'll see how that goes. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But until next time, friends, don't forget, be gay, do crime, make your grandparents disgusted, and make me proud. Bye, everybody.